Okay, welcome to the CCCD's podcast. I'm Robin. I'm here with Lizzy to talk about TBRI. Welcome to the studio, Lizzy, kind of the virtual studio anyway.
Thank you.
Amazing. So TBRI, Trust-Based Parenting Initiative?
Trust-Based Relational Intervention.
Thank you, much better. Okay, so tell me about what that is and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so Trust-Based Relational Intervention is an intervention that was really developed for working with kids, vulnerable kids who have experienced harm. So typically it's used a lot with foster and adopted children. And it's really aimed at meeting their needs. And that can be like meeting their physical needs, like hydration and nutrition, which like obviously all of us need those needs met, but especially kids with trauma histories. Those things really have like a pretty big impact on them. So there's like this whole piece of TBRI that's meeting kids' physical needs, empowering them to know how to self-regulate is a big piece of TBRI, and really like helping caregivers, particularly, especially it's used with like foster and adoptive or kinship caregivers a lot, really helping them understand these are your child's needs based on the trauma that they've experienced, based on the fact that their brain is different because of the trauma that they've experienced, their brains, their bodies, their biologies, they all have special needs. And so seeing that need and then meeting the need through, really attuned caregiving, through really focusing on building healthy attachment and building trust with these children, because many children who have histories of harm, they have a really hard time trusting adults because adults have caused them a lot of pain in their lives. And so TBRI is really about seeing the need of these children with trauma histories and meeting that need, and just showing up for those kids and taking care of them, and supporting them through all that and helping them heal.
Hey, Robin, did you ever try to drive a car with 3 tires?
I have tried that a few times. I tried to get up on 2 wheels, but you need a really good ramp and definitely a helmet so you don't bang your head.
Well, it's a good thing that Columbia Gorge Toyota are having a buy 3 tires, get 1 free sale right now.
That would get my car right. I like that. My dipstick's also really black. I have gone goth before, but this is taking heavy metal to another level.
Oh, man, right? Well, Toyota's also offering $16 off an oil change. That bright yellow conventional or synthetic oil is just the thing to make your motor happy.
Nice.
And here's something to keep you headed straight.
Is it a ruler?
No, but good idea, Robin. Actually, Toyota offers a free alignment check, and they'll even make sure your tires are in good rotation.
Tom, I just can't do without my car on some days, and it is a Facebook Marketplace purchase, so it's a little tricky. Will I be left waddling up and down the sidewalk in my tennies?
No way! Columbia Gorge Toyota has a 1-day complimentary rental car service on repairs that total over $500.
Whoa, that's free ride. I love that. Is that from our friends at Columbia Gorge Toyota, Rachel and Aaron Carter?
You bet, making your life easier and your car safer with quality repairs and service.
8 a.m. till 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday, 1900 West 6th Street, The Dalles. Yeah, kids have released trauma in a whole bunch of ways, right? And everyone's very different, or certainly there's themes within it. What's it like for those people that take part in this with you? Like, what kind of process do they go through to do this work with you?
Yeah. So currently at Center for Living at the agency where I work as a therapist, we offer TBRI classes, and just with TBRI in general, a lot of it is actually inner work for the adults who are learning about TBRI. And that's a really big need, because we all as adults are carrying around our own wounds from our childhoods. Whether we're aware of it or not, we all have been impacted by our attachment figures in our lives and the different experiences that we've had all throughout life. And so a lot of TBRI for people who engage in these types of classes is looking at, okay, what are my self-regulation skills? What are things that are triggering for me? Because I know that this child I'm caring for has a lot of triggers because of their trauma history. And how do I cope with that? How do I stay calm and regulated and meet this child's needs when I myself am very triggered by things in my environment, and especially triggered potentially by some of the behaviors that kids with trauma histories often display. And so it is a lot of inner work of kind of working through those pieces. And then a lot of just reflecting on like, okay, what are things that I can do right now to help this child? What are changes that I can make in their environment at home? How can I help them get the nutrition they need and the hydration that they need and get the movement that they need? That's a huge thing for a lot of kids with trauma histories is they have really big sensory needs and movement needs. And so figuring out how to incorporate that in a healthy way, which is challenging. I mean, especially when we think about like the school system that we have in America, a lot of like sitting in classrooms, and for kids with trauma histories, that can be really, really challenging. And so, so people who learn about TBRI or trained in TBRI, it's really like thinking about what are ways that I can adjust how I am caring for this child to meet their needs rather than trying to fit this child in a mold. Like a lot of what I hear from like maybe foster parents who have raised their own children is like, wow, raising a child with a trauma history is like raising one of them is like raising 5 kids who don't have a trauma history because their needs are so huge. And so kind of shifting that lens of like maybe these certain methods worked really well with my own child that I raised who, I was in control of all the factors or a lot of the factors in their life and was able to protect them and keep them from a lot of harm. Maybe the things that worked with those kids aren't working with these foster kids that I'm raising or, kids that I've adopted because these kids, their brains and their bodies are just different because of what they've been through. So really a lot of it is just like working with caregivers on shifting that perspective and understanding that all behavior from children is communication. They're communicating a need. And so getting really curious about what is the need behind that behavior and how can I meet that need?
Yeah, that's so interesting. Wow, thank you for sharing all that.
Hey, Josh, did you know that we are funded by our readers in large part?
I did know that, but please tell me more.
Yeah, it's our local readers here that make it possible for us to go out and gather news on local businesses and important issues in our community. And so we need people to support local news. Did you know you can make a difference in our community's economy and culture by supporting local journalism? I bet you did. But maybe you out there don't. And so you should visit our Support Us page at cccnews.com to subscribe to a monthly donation to keep news local and start making a difference in our community today. Again, that's cccnews.com.
And remember, CCC News is available for everyone and funded by readers.
Like when these needs come out in so many ways, and if we just meet them all, like it's a platform, right? Like when we're at equilibrium, we have a platform where we can heal, right? Mm-hmm. But like before that, like if we're hungry, like I'm not fixing anything if I'm hungry, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not fixing anything if I'm tired. I have to tell my partner, like, okay, actually, can we do this later? I'm really exhausted.
Yeah. And that's really important for adults to be aware of that too. Like if your kid is having a meltdown because they haven't had a snack in 4 hours, and we can relate to that too. Like I get hangry when I haven't had a snack in every 2 hours, and we're not responding from our best self when those needs aren't met.
Yeah, and it's so worth working on them in terms of like progress through like being within systems like schools, right? Because it's so hard to be in school just as a normal person, and so if you're struggling through that different body trauma that you're experiencing, like, and then you're dealing with the length of school and not being able to get up and walk around and things like that, right? You talk about movement. Yeah. It makes it hard for them, makes it hard for the kids around them, it makes it hard for the teachers and the sealers and all those other folks that are involved. And so it sounds like it's well worth doing this work.
Oh yeah. It is very, very important work and very rewarding.
For sure. So how can people take part? When's it's starting pretty soon, right?
Yeah. So our next class in TBRI actually starts, I think it's next week, next Thursday, right? July 31st. Is that next week?
I think that's right. Yeah.
I've got vacation brain, so I'm like a little bit off. But yeah, I believe it's next Thursday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. is going to be our first virtual class. So that'll be 6 Thursdays. Each class is just an hour and a half, 3:30 to 5, and that'll take place all virtually online. And that class is going to be for foster, adoptive, and kinship caregivers. And then after that group ends, there will be about a week off. And then September 17th, we'll begin the first group for teens that we're going to be doing. Or not for teens, for caregivers of teens. So also foster, adoptive, or kinship caregivers who are raising teens. So the material will be a little bit more targeted at the unique needs of adolescents. And then beginning November 5th is going to be another 6-week series on Wednesdays in the mornings. And that class is actually going to be for birth parents of kids who have experienced harm. So that's a really great class that we're hoping to get referrals from child welfare for maybe parents who are trying to work towards reunification with their children who are in DHS custody. And even kinship caregivers, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles who are raising their biological relative children, kinship kids, and to kind of meet the unique needs and the unique dynamics that are there when you are biologically connected to the child who has experienced harm.
Fantastic. Thank you for that's so obviously the vocation brain is still pretty good because that was a lot of numbers. That's great. Amazing. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you think we should know about TBRI or inviting other folks to the people to come along and be part of this class?
Yeah, I would say for anyone who works with kids really can benefit from TBRI, and maybe it's not these specific classes that people get involved with, but I'm always happy to just connect with people if they, want more information about TBRI, want to know what resources are out there. There's tons of books, there's a TBRI podcast, there's lots of videos out there, and really anyone who works with kids. I'm a little biased because I'm just all about TBRI, but really anybody who has any kind of contact with kids, I think should have some level of training in it because there's so many kids that even on the outside, you see kids around town, you may not realize the pain that they've experienced and the fact that maybe some of the behaviors that you see with them are really coming from a place of deep woundedness, and there's a need there that needs to be met. And so, yeah, I just think everybody should be all about TBRI and should get trained in it. And yeah, I'm just happy to answer questions if anybody ever wants to reach out about it.
Great, thank you. Well, we'll put the link in the description and in the story on CCC News, and folks can like and subscribe hopefully, and then you'll see some of those. I think we'll also you'll be able to find the information on forriversfamily.com and to reach out to Lizzy and you can go through email or phone out there, I think. And so, yeah, folks should reach out to you if they have any questions. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you sharing all of that with us. It was a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, great. See you soon.